So let's talk about building applications in the cloud. We're going to explore a really big shift in how things are done. A shift that asks, what if you didn't have to think about servers at all anymore? Yep, we're diving into AWS Lambda and the whole serverless revolution. Okay, for anyone who's ever had to launch an app, you know the drill. It's a familiar story, right? Before you can even get to the fun part, the actual code, you're stuck planning out your infrastructure. What size server do I need? How many? What operating system? How am I going to make it scale? It's just a ton of work before you've even started. Exactly. I mean, that whole cycle is just a constant headache. You're provisioning servers, you're constantly patching them for security, and you're trying to figure out scaling. And maybe the most frustrating part, you're paying for all that server power 24/7, even when it's just sitting there, doing nothing, waiting for requests to come in. There's got to be a better way, right? Well, there is, and it's called serverless computing. Now, I know what you're thinking. The name is a little confusing. Of course, there are still servers somewhere. The huge difference, the real game changer, is that you, the developer, don't have to manage them anymore. The cloud provider, like AWS, handles all of that for you. This chart really lays it all out. Think of it as a before and after. In the traditional world, you're the system administrator. You're juggling hardware, scaling plans, security updates, the whole shebang. But with serverless, all of that operational weight just gets lifted off your shoulders. You stop paying for servers that are just sitting idle, and you get to pour all your energy into the code that actually makes your app special. That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If I'm not setting up a virtual machine or an EC2 instance, where in the world is my code actually running? And the answer, in the world of AWS, is Lambda. Lambda is what's known as a function as a service, or FaaS. You can think of it as the engine that powers all of these serverless applications. You know, the official definition here really nails it. You just package up your code, whether it's in Python, Node.js, Go, you name it, and you upload it as a function. From that point on, Lambda takes over completely. It handles everything needed to run your code, to scale it up if you get a flood of traffic, and to make sure it's always available, all without you lifting a finger. And get this, to make it super easy to get started, AWS gives you a free tier that never expires. You get 1 million free requests every single month. And that's not just for playing around. For a lot of apps, like internal tools or websites with low traffic, that means you could literally run your entire production workload for free. So here's the key thing to understand. Lambda functions aren't like a traditional web server that's running all the time. They're designed to be short-lived, to just pop into existence, do a job, and then disappear. They execute in response to a specific trigger, or an event. And that's the heart of what we call an event-driven architecture. Okay, so if it's not an always-on server waiting for someone to visit a web page, what is an event in this world? What are these triggers that actually kick the code off? Let's walk through a classic example. Imagine a user uploads a new profile picture to your app. That picture file gets saved in an Amazon S3 bucket. That upload action, that's the event. You can set up S3 to automatically trigger your Lambda function every time a new file appears. The function then wakes up, runs its code, maybe it resizes the image into a thumbnail or checks its content, and then it just goes away. It only runs and you only pay for those few milliseconds when it was actually doing work. And uploading a file to S3 is just one possibility. An event can be anything. It could be a new record getting added to a DynamoDB database, a new message showing up on a Kinesis data stream, or even a system alert from CloudWatch. This makes Lambda the perfect glue to connect all the different services in AWS, letting you build some really powerful automated workflows. So, when you combine this event-driven approach with the fact that you don't have any servers to manage, something amazing happens. Your development speed goes way, way up. You can go from just an idea to a working prototype incredibly fast. All right, this all sounds fantastic in theory, but what's the catch? Is this going to take me weeks to figure out? As a developer who's new to this, how quickly can I actually get something up and running? It's actually a lot easier than you might think, and the main reason for that is something called Lambda blueprints. Basically, these are pre-made templates for all sorts of common tasks, so you never have to start completely from scratch. Hey, remember that photo processing example we just talked about? Well, there's literally a blueprint for that. It's called S3 Get Object Python, and it gives you all the starting code and the right permissions you need to react to a file upload in S3. And this really gets to the core of the experience. The blueprint sets up this main Lambda handler function for you. This is the entry point for your code. It handles all the messy parts of getting the data from the event that triggered it. All you have to do is jump in and write the unique logic that you actually care about. So when you put it all together, you can see why developers are so excited about this. It's about efficiency. You get to focus on your app, not your servers. It's super cost-effective because you only pay for what you use. The scalability is just automatic and basically infinite. And you can prototype and launch new ideas faster than ever before. This is more than just a new technology. It's really a new way of thinking. It frees you from so many of the old constraints we've dealt with for decades. So it leaves you with a really exciting question. What kind of amazing things could you build if you never had to worry about provisioning, patching, or scaling a server ever again? All right, that's our look at AWS Lambda. If you found this useful, do us a favor and hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more deep dives into the tech that's changing our world. Thanks for watching.